decluttering was more about the me underneath my stuff than my physical stuff. I'm Julia Ubbanega. I'm the author of the book Declutter Your Heart and Your Home: How a Minimalist Life Yields Maximum Joy. I am the creator of the blog Rich in What Matters, and I am also the creator of the Instagram account @Rich in What Matters. My book, Declutter Your Heart and Your Home: How a Minimalist Life Yields Maximum Joy, is full of actionable steps, practical tools to help you live your life with less stuff, and talks about also decluttering our heart and our soul. I grew up close to my grandma, and my grandma loved to shop. She would buy things whether she needed them or not, whether she had the money or not. She would just go buy things. That's what she loved to do. I would spend time with her. She would buy me things. We'd stroll the malls together, and I soon learned that shopping was fun. I learned that it was a way to feel good, a way not to feel bad, to kind of cover up hard feelings. And I carried this mindset into my 20s. I started making money. I started spending money. And pretty soon I had all this stuff and $40,000 worth of consumer debt. So when I thought about the debt, I felt bad. But when I felt bad, I'd go buy something new because that's what I thought would make me feel good and make me feel happy. So this cycle, it continued until the time our second daughter was born. And I was working outside the home as a speech-language pathologist at the time, but I'd always wanted to stay home with our kids. That was my dream, to be a stay-at-home mom. So at the time, my husband got a promotion, and I was so excited I could stay home. It was a dream come true, but I had this really idyllic vision of what stay-at-home mom life would be like. But 2 weeks into the stay-at-home mom gig, I would not have even called myself a stay-at-home mom. I would have said a full-time stuff manager would have been a better title, because that is what I did. I was constantly looking for things, picking things up, cleaning things, tripping over things I hadn't picked up yet. And I was just exhausted all the time. I was distracted, like I was there, but I wasn't really there. I couldn't really focus on the people around me and be present to them. So a couple months into living this way, I was diagnosed with postpartum depression. And my faith was something that I really leaned into at that time. And so I have this memory of this morning where I was up in the recliner chair in the nursery. I was feeding our baby, and I was talking with God, really pleading with God. I was like, God, what is going on here? This isn't what I signed up for. Something needs to change. And I was reading the Bible, and a couple verses from Luke chapter 12, they jumped off the page at me. And they said, your life does not consist of possessions. Be rich in what matters. So I paused right there and I asked myself, was I rich in what mattered? Was I rich in relationships? Time for a prayer life? Time for a hobby that I loved? And the answer was no, absolutely not. I wasn't. So that planted the seed that something in my life around the area of possessions needed to change, but I didn't know what. I didn't know where to go from there. But that same week I had a therapy appointment, and at the end of the session, just as I was leaving, the therapist said, Julia, have you ever heard of minimalism? I'm like, oh, you mean houses with white walls and next to nothing in them? And she's like, no, look into it. There's more to it than that. I think you might be interested. And so I was curious. I just did a Google search on minimalism in the car right after the session, and I realized that there's a lot of resources out there about minimalism. So I started reading books and blogs about it. I listened to podcasts about it. And this idea that I didn't need all this stuff to be happy, and in fact, I'd be a whole lot happier with less of it, because then I'd have the time and the energy to focus on who and what mattered. It was a mindset shift that was life-changing. So I went all in on minimalism. I decluttered 75% of our stuff over the course of the first year. And we've been living this way as a minimalist family for 6 years now. And my husband and I have 5 kids, ages 11, 7, 4, 3, and 4 months. And so that's my story of how I got into minimalism. Then I wrote this book, Declutter Your Heart and Your Home: How a Minimalist Life Yields Maximum Joy, to give anyone else the tools who's feeling called to live a lighter life with less stuff. There have been studies now that are showing that living in a cluttered environment is not in our best interest for our physical health, for our mental health. And we are living in a time now in a society that has more stuff, more physical possessions than any society in the history of the world. What is that doing to us? These living environments that we've created that are full of clutter. So our clutter is not neutral. It speaks to us, it tells us, wash me, put me away. When we see it in our home, it is cluttering our mind. When we see it, it is causing us stress. It changes the way that we respond to the people around us. There's a study out of Yale too that showed that our brains expend so much energy trying to ignore the visual stimuli in a cluttered environment. So even if you're not actively thinking about your clutter, your brain is still trying to ignore it, and this can make you tired. It can make you feel distracted. Decluttering is about more than your possessions. So when I started my decluttering journey, I obviously was focused on getting rid of the physical things in our home, but what I realized is that decluttering was more about the me underneath my stuff than my physical stuff. And as I was decluttering our physical stuff, I realized I was actually curating two homes, an outer home and an inner home. And the inner home was more this home of my soul, like who I was. And that was covered up by lots of inner clutter too, like reactivity and comparison and hurry. And I didn't really know that. I didn't really look at that until I began decluttering the outer part of my world. I think that what we can find as we are decluttering our outer possessions is that maybe some of the reason that we have our stuff or we're holding on to our stuff in the first place is because we have some inner clutter. Like maybe you're holding on to certain clothing items that you don't really love simply because of comparison and wanting to fit in. Or maybe you don't really believe that you deserve rest and you're stuck in hurry mode doing all the time, and your home reflects that. Maybe your couches are covered with stuff, and your bed, like those places that are supposed to be places of rest, are just cluttered because deep down you don't believe that you deserve that rest. And so really our home can be like a physical manifestation of what is going on inside of us. So we can look at our home and we can ask, not in a judgmental way, but more just in a very curious way, what is my home reflecting back to me? The best place to begin decluttering is in the area of your home that is causing you the most stress. So this is something that I learned, and I wish I would have known before. What I had read beforehand was start decluttering your home in a small, contained, non-sentimental area, maybe a kitchen drawer, someplace easy like that, to get those small wins, build up the momentum. So I tried that. I tried starting in a kitchen drawer. I did it. I had this really organized kitchen drawer, had the feel-goods of finishing a decluttering project. But then I turned around and saw the rest of my home, and it was overrun by kids' stuff. And I was immediately stressed again. It didn't lead to any functional change in our home. So what I realized was that I needed to start in the area of our home that was causing me the most stress to get some functional change out of my efforts. So what I did was I just took a piece of paper and I wrote down all the areas of my home that I wanted to declutter. I rated them. Most stressful was a 10, least stressful was a 1. So I started with kids' clothes. They were everywhere. Kids' clothes were so stressful, so I started with that. When I finished, I felt a lightening in our home that I had never felt with that kitchen drawer. So start in the area of your home that is causing you the most stress so you can get real functional change in your home right away, and you can be motivated to continue decluttering. Letting go of your possessions can be harder than expected. I was pretty good in the beginning of my decluttering journey at boxing stuff up, deciding what I wanted to let go of, but then that actual letting go part was harder than I anticipated. So I learned about different terms in psychology, like the endowment effect. We overvalue our possessions simply because they're ours. That makes it hard to let go of them. The mere exposure effect. When we see things in our environment, often we feel like they're part of our lives and it feels unnatural to let them go. It becomes hard to let them go. So I would take my possessions that I wanted to donate and I wouldn't let go of them right away. I would loosen my attachment to those things with time. So I'd put those boxes of things down in our basement storage and I'd wait. I'd wait 2, maybe 3 months, and then I'd see if I still needed them. If I did, I could pull them back out, but usually I didn't. it was so much easier to let go of them because I realized that life was lighter without them. I didn't really need them. I had broken that mere exposure effect. I hadn't seen them for 3 months, and so I didn't feel like they're a part of my life anymore. And it became much easier to let go of my possessions when I loosened the attachment with time in that way. When you box your stuff up, be ruthless. Try boxing up even more than you think you need to let go of, because that's how we figure out how much is enough. The possessions that you keep should support your life now. Before decluttering our home, I thought that I needed to keep things from various stages of life. I needed to keep these jeans just in case they came back in style. I needed to keep all these souvenirs from this trip because they held my memories. But what happens is, if you hold on to too much stuff from your past, you stay in the past. It weighs you down. It doesn't allow you to move into your present life. It distracts you. The average American home now has over 300,000 items in it, and we're not made to manage that much stuff. We really, most of us, use only 20% of our stuff. And so that 80% of our stuff is usually something that we needed at a past stage of life and that we don't anymore. So before decluttering, I wish I would have known that I only needed to keep what supports my life now. Yes, do keep some sentimental items because some of those things are valuable, but don't hold on to boxes and boxes of it. What I've done with sentimental stuff is I've taken just a basket of things and I put it up high on my shelf in my closet, and I can pull it down whenever I want to. Hold on just to the things in your life that are supporting your life now. Decluttering is a journey. Before decluttering our home, I did not realize that minimalism would become a tool to guide me through life. It would change the trajectory of my life's path. It influences so many areas of my life, not just my stuff, but my calendar, my self-talk thoughts. I'm constantly now discerning, what do I allow into my life? Just this idea of intentionality and applying it to all areas of your life. Minimalism is a journey that changes you. Decluttering your home is a journey that changes you for the better and will show you how to live a life focused on who and what matters, because now you have the space for it, the time for it, the energy for it, and it'll bring so much more joy and meaning to your life. So if you're considering decluttering your home, or if you are already decluttering and you're looking for a jump start, go for it. I hope you just feel so ready now to go tackle all the clutter in your life, because it is life-changing work.